Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I am Connor Williams and we're back with another 24/7 news report video. There's been a bit of news dropped today, some of it rumours, some of it quotes. So let's divulge into it, shall we? We start off with our headline news as always, and our headline news is that Everton are interested in Newcastle's Saint-Maximin but face competition from AC Milan, Chelsea and Liverpool. The source for this is Calcio Mercato via Sport Witness. We did run a poll on the Toffee Blues. Go follow us on Twitter. You can find that in the description down below. We put polls out quite often when there's rumours of transfers and players. As we lead up to January, we'll probably do a bit more of them. So go follow them because your voice will be heard and I'm going to read it out. So it's sort of like you appear in the video. Sort of. Anyway, we did ask our followers... would you like to see Saint-Maximin at Everton? 701 of you voted. There is still 51 minutes left, so if you get, you get your skates on, you can get involved in that. But yeah, out of the 701, 90% said yes, 10% said no. Yeah, Saint-Maximin, I am a big fan of. He's a lot better than Longstaff to be linked with. There's only one player in that whole Newcastle squad I'd like, and he's, well, maybe Dubravka from 3 years ago. 3 years ago he looked really good. I don't know if he's that good now, but as I thought when Pickford was having that little bit of a troubled spell, I thought Dubravka looked good. But yeah, Saint-Maximin, I watched Leeds versus Newcastle. I think it was last week's game or the week before. Where Rafinha scored, another player I'd really like at Everton, fantastic player, and then Saint-Maximin scored. And both teams, obviously Leeds got Bielsa and everyone talks about that. Rafinha probably should have got more goals. I'm digressing, but yeah, Saint-Maximin was Newcastle's best player by him. Well, best player in what he does. I don't want to say that because somebody's going to bring up stats of their defence, which is probably very good, but he's the only player at Newcastle that looks like a danger man on the ball. And I don't know how to describe it, but when he has the ball with Newcastle, he runs at players, he's very skillful. For his goal against Leeds, he was just going in the box. And I remember sat in at the pub and I said to my mate, there's only one way you stop him, and it's to kick him. And you're not going to do that in your own area. And he got a goal from it. He's just a really, really good player, very athletic, very fast, very agile, very skillful. He wears a Gucci headband as well, if that means anything to any of you. That's sort of his, I don't know, I was gonna say gimmick, but when he was doing it in France, that's what people liked about him. He's wearing his Gucci headband. I was actually surprised when Newcastle bought him. I thought he was a very, hyped, very good player. But since then, I really do like him. I liked him then. Don't get me wrong. I was just surprised he went to Newcastle. I do really like the look of him. I think he'd fit in that Everton team. That right wing, we could certainly have a player like that. As well as Andros Townsend started, and he has started phenomenally. I'm not going to knock Andros Townsend. He is getting on, and he won't be there for the next 5 seasons. Saint-Maximin is going to be, because he's a young player, he's a young lad, he's got a hunger. This is the type of player I want us to start recruiting more. Ideally, maybe not once they've jumped to a Premier League club, because Saint-Maximin won't come cheaply, not just in wages, but he's Newcastle, one of their best players. Steve Bruce has already laughed off the interest and said, why would we sell one of our better players? He will cost a lot of money. That's not saying they won't sell. Mike Ashley ultimately deals with all that, not Steve Bruce. And if you throw enough at Mike Ashley, he will sell. But it would be a lot of money, and obviously the manager really does favour him. So it would cost us a lot, and ideally I'd have liked us to get this type of player when they've not gone to the Premier League. Like Jeremy Doku, I'd love us to get him while he's quite big, but he's not bigger. He's not at a Prem club, so maybe you could persuade Ren to sell him. They sold Camavinga to Real Madrid this summer. I'd like Jeremy Doku. But yeah, Saint-Maximin, really like him. Think he's going to cost a lot of money though, just because of who he is, the hype behind him, and the fact that he's now Prem proven. But I'm sure you'll let me know your opinions on him, and if you like him. And he can also do a kip up, which is incredibly talented. It shows how fit he is core strength wise, because kip ups are hard to do, man. But yeah, moving on from a young fast starlet in the Premier League to the 30-year-old in the Serie A, in the way that Everton transfer rumours do tend to fly around. There are claims in Italy that Aaron Ramsey is open to joining Everton. We reported yesterday that he was on the Everton radar. According to Italian outlet Tutto Juve, which is translated by Sport Witness, they're reporting Ramsey would prefer a move to Everton if he was to move back to the Premier League. The Welsh international has fallen down the pecking order at Juventus, and a move could soon be on after he failed to start in a single match or in the Champions League or the Serie A this season. Not a lot to unpack on this. I gave my opinions on this yesterday. I don't think we should be offering 30-year-old players big contracts, 3-year deals, when, you know, not that his expiry date is up, but this is sort of the transfer policy we've had in the past that's come back to bite us. We should sort of try and avoid that and go after younger, hungry players who will progress, and even if you do sell them and we're not at the level and they maybe outgrow us, you will earn money from them. If Aaron Ramsey, we will not be able to sell. He will probably go on a free or retire at Everton because he won't leave. Like, no one's going to come buy him off us for any money. That being said, the fact that he's interested, again, isn't a surprise. It was like when Eddie Howe said he was interested in the Everton job. You would be. That, to me, says that none of the top six, hate the term, but you know the clubs I'm on about, are interested in him, because I've not read any reports that they are, and he doesn't fancy himself playing at Wolves or Norwich or, you know, any of the clubs further down the table. So we are probably the best club that's interested in him at the minute. So he's gone, yeah, I'm not getting games here. It's back in the Premier League. They're one of the best clubs interested in me. They'll offer me nice loads of money. Why not? And for me, I would avoid it, but I'm not surprised that he's very interested in joining us. Next, moving on, we have that Benitez is eyeing a double at Real Madrid. He wants Isco and Luka Yovich. This is according to Spanish publication Defensa Central, who are reporting that Rafa Benitez, Everton boss, is interested in signing the attacking pair at the midway point of the campaign. Isco's contract is due to expire next summer, while Yovich has been linked with a move away from Real, having failed to impress since his £54 million move to the Santiago Bernabeu back in 2019. That was a great move, because I think it was Frankfurt had him on loan, then bought him, then sold him, and made a massive profit. It was very good business. I think it was Frankfurt on their part. Yovich has fell out of sorts, but he's still a relatively young player. I believe he is 24 or 25 as of recording this. Obviously, if you're watching it, you know, 4 years in the future, well, you let me know if we sign him, but as of recording, I think he's 23, 24, something like that. Actually, I think he's younger than 25. I think he's 23. So he's still got a lot of potential to go. He's not done. He's not dusted. He's a good striker. He proved it at Frankfurt. I'd like Luka Yovich. I would like him if the price was right and the wages were right. Isco, I saw someone reply on Twitter saying on loan. I would take him on loan. That's all I would take him on. I think any more than that, you're going to give him big wages, long contracts, same as Ramsey for me. But on loan, he would do the job till the summer, where we've got a bit more money to be throwing about in the window. But it's yet to be seen whether that's the case. But for Luka Yovich, that gets a thumbs up. Young, got something to prove, hungry, bit like Damari Gray. Damari Gray came with something to prove, looks like he's got the hunger. Yovich will have the same sort of output, I imagine. He's had his some of his bigger moves. It's not worked out for him. He's still a very good player. He'll have that hunger to try and prove that he, in himself, his talent was good. And that's what I want at Everton. Young, hungry players who are going to work hard to prove themselves in the world. So that's a thumbs up from me. I'd be a hypocrite to say anything other. Finally, we have some news. Well, not news. It's Richarlison's done an interview, and Sky have very naughtily clickbaited this. But it's a positive quote from me. He had an interview with Ole in South America, and it's been translated via Sport Witness, I believe. And he says in it, "I'm always very careful when I talk about it." This is about him moving away, by the way. "I'm always very careful when I talk about it. I have great affection for the people of Everton and for the club who received me so well from the first day I arrived. I don't know what the future holds. If one day I have to go, it must be good for me, but also good for the club. But if I stay, I will continue to give my life for this shirt and for the fans who have always supported me and were there for me at all times. I have an enormous gratitude and feel at home when I'm at Finch Farm Training Ground or at Goodison Park Stadium. Yeah, Sky sort of said that he was, what did they word it as? Richarlison like looks to move away from Everton or something like that, which isn't what he said. As I've just read that, it's not what he said. All he said is he doesn't know what the future holds. None of us do. And if he was to move away, it'd have to be good, not just for him, but for the club. And to me, I can only see positives in that. He's been honest. You don't know what the future holds, but he's also said he's not. It basically said he's not going to do the club over. It'd have to be very good for the club as well as him, and that he's happy at Everton. He doesn't want to leave, like right now. He doesn't know what the future holds. He doesn't know what team's going to come in from the summer. Maybe then it changes. But right now, he's happy. He's grateful. He also put a tweet out of him celebrating with the fans. And tweeted it in Brazilian, but if you translate it, it's like, I'm well liked around here or something. He loves the fans. I think last year he quite missed fans not being in, because he is the type of player that lives off the Richarlison chant. He loves it. I've got a lot of respect for Richarlison, and he's one of the players that I'd be devastated if he leaves. But there was a great quote, and it's really nice to see. And yeah, only positives for him. He seems to get it. And I know football is a fickle sport nowadays, and you know there's no loyalty. Loyalty's dead in the game. But call me an old soppy. You know, I fall for this hook, line and sinker, and do believe he does love being at Everton. And it would take some good club and good offer to get him away from us. But that is all the time we've got for today. So don't forget to comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel. But yeah, most importantly, all three of them. But comment down below on anything I've discussed today. Do you think I'm bang wrong about Aaron Ramsey, or do you think I'm bang right? Let me know. What about Luka Yovich? Do you like the look of him? Isco, would you take him on loan? But you, Luka Yovich, would you like him at Everton? Richarlison, has it made your heart melt a little bit? And don't forget our headline news, Saint-Maximin. Would you take him at Everton? I would. Would you? Let me know down below. Don't forget, you can also buy all your Everton merch through the link in the description. Massively helps out the channel. And you can follow myself and the Toffee Blues on Twitter. Links again in the description down below. Don't forget to follow the Toffee Blues if you want to be in that poll and somewhat appear on a video. Stay safe.